A lot has happened since Labour won the public backing of over 120 business chiefs in a letter just ahead of the general election. When it landed in newspapers in late May, that letter seemed to signal a tectonic shift in British politics, one in which the private sector had been won over by Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves' more stable and ostensibly more pro-business pitch. Labour has shown it has changed and wants to work with business to achieve the UK's full economic potential, the letter read. It had been written by the Labour Party and signed by 121 business chiefs in a show of support for Keir Starmer and his party. While it seemed a watershed moment in British politics, a look at the signatories in the days after its publication did begin to raise questions over just how significant this vote of confidence was. No serving FTSE 350 bosses had added their names to the letter. What's more, some were existing Labour members, some were retired. The word former did appear a lot. Now, with full clarity over Labour's fiscal plans and a budget in the rearview mirror, the enthusiasm of those executives does appear to have dimmed somewhat. City M tried to track them all down over the past week to hear what they were thinking some 7 months after they backed the party. We contacted 120 signatories of the letter over the past week, and just 28 of the original backers appeared willing to reiterate their support for Labour on the record. 3 declined to comment when asked if they still remain supportive of the government, and several were keen to stress that they signed in a purely personal capacity. Just under 90 failed to respond to multiple requests for comment, and representatives of 2 signatories said they were currently uncontactable. Perhaps most worryingly for Labour, one prominent signatory told City M they felt they had been duped after facing pressure from party officials to sign the letter. The executive asked to remain anonymous, saying, "We were lied to." Of those who stood by their decision to endorse Labour, several said they are concerned over the direction of the government and the series of punishing tax rises laid out at that budget at the end of October. A former Tory councillor said they were listening to business leaders. Nick Lawrence, who was formerly a Tory councillor and now runs Shrewsbury-based tool seller 7 Diamond, told us they really wanted businesses to be on board and they were listening to what we had to say, but since the budget date, they're not listening. Celebrity chef and famed restaurateur Tom Kerridge, who put his name to that endorsement in May, didn't mince his words over Labour's plans last week either. He said they would have a catastrophic effect on the hospitality industry next year. Meanwhile, William Reeve, the founder of Love Film, who now runs property startup Good Lord, stood by his decision to sign that letter, but added that Rachel Reeves' fiscal plans did the opposite of what was previously suggested and had come down hard on working people. Other heavyweight backers of the party who didn't sign that letter in particular have also now sounded the alarm over the direction of travel since Labour's victory. Sacha Lord, the Mancunian entrepreneur and advisor to Andy Burnham, told City AM budget measures introduced in October have not lived up to expectations. The vague justification of filling the black hole is simply not good enough, considering the anxiety, turmoil, and frankly near collapse of businesses that hard-working people have spent their lifetimes building. Several of the companies contacted by City M said the party retained their support, while others said they would prefer to give the government more time before casting a verdict. A government spokesperson told City M the government was determined to go for growth and work in partnership with businesses to invest in Britain's future. While companies across the country continue to absorb, to digest the consequences of Labour's first budget in 14 years, it seems unlikely now that this new government would be able to convince all of their original business backers to sign a similar letter today. It feels like quite a change of fortune just 5 months on from an election. For the full story and to read what more of those signatories had to say, head to citym.com and hit subscribe for more.